BassResinator here. I have a friend and former colleague. I'll call him that because I no longer am working at the school. I'm retired. But the mascot for the school is a rattlesnake. And he goes, "Do you have any good rattlesnake molds?" And I'm like, "No, I really don't. I've looked for some stuff, and either they look really gaudy or they look like little baby, little toy things." And I thought, "No, I don't." And I said, "But I do have a snake mold." And so this is the crystal snake mold from Let's Resin. And he says, "What does it look like?" And I showed him. And he goes, "That's good, but can you put rattles on it?" And I'm like, "I can do that." So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my air dry foam clay, and I'm going to block off the end here. And then I'm going to pour the snake. Now, I've already put his eyes in. I don't know if you can see those, but those are really cool looking eyes. He wants a red snake. The colors of the school are red and white. So he wants clear red or transparent red. So I'm going to be using bright red dye in this. But this last section of right here is not going to have any resin in it. And then I'm going to sculpt it with this Culture Sculpt from Counterculture DIY. And I'm going to try and make it to where, well, this is upside down, but the rattles will come up a little bit. And then this dries white. So that's not going to be cool. So what I'm going to have to do is form them or fashion them and then have them bend a little bit. And I'm thinking I'm going to get a little wire, one of those green wires from that florists use, and put it inside of it. And then I'll be able to stick that into just the tip of it, drill a little hole in the back side of the snake itself, and then put some glue in there and hold it in place. Now, I'm not going to leave them white. I'm probably going to, well, I don't know. I could leave it white, because it's red and white, right? I'll ask him, see what he wants. Okay, well, right now I'm getting this foam dry. This stuff is really weird. I made a thing the other day, and it dries spongy. It's kind of weird. I use this as a block for another mold, and so I know it works. So I just need to get a little bit. That is goopy right there. That's not what it was like the other day. Well, I'm gonna have my hands covered and stuff. Let me see if I can find some of that harder stuff. Goodness, this is I don't like the feel of this stuff. Now, when I was a little kid, I would have loved this, playing in the mud and stuff. At least it comes off nice and easy. I say that, and then I got it somewhere else on me. Okay, let me get another paper towel here. I may be going through these real quick. Okay, here's some of the harder stuff. Here's the stuff I used. I just want to block off this end so that whole back end will be what I make into rattles. Okay, that made a block. I don't know what that is. That's super gooey. This is stuff that they use. You can paint it and do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. But people that are into cosplay, making their costumes and, like superheroes and stuff, use this stuff. So, okay. So now, I'm going to use, because I have it, ultra clear craft art and craft resin. And this doesn't take all that much. Where does it say? Oh, right here, 2.7 ounces. And I have found that when they say 2.7 ounces, probably means 3.1. So I'm going to mix up my resin and come back, and then I'm going to start fashioning that while this is curing. Okay, be right back. Okay, mixed up the resin, and this resin is a very thick resin, so I'm going to put some alcohol down in the mold to try and prevent any bubbles from happening in all those little crystal surfaces. And I'm sure I'm going to have to go around with a toothpick just a little bit. Yeah, all of those I can see have bubbles hanging out in there. I don't know if y'all can see them, but if I can see them, that's one too many. Clear red. It's not a really dark red, but it is red. Okay, it's not pink. He didn't say anything about that, but I know the colors of the school because having worked there. Okay, now I see them back here more than up in the front. Maybe it's because they're smaller spots. I'm just pushing down into those crystals to get that bubble loose and let it come up on its own. Then I'll spray some more alcohol over the top. This teacher friend of mine is the cheerleading coach, and so he says, I gotta have my mascot on my desk. And so this is going to be a fixture on his desk, which is going to be kind of cool. Okay, do I see any more now that those bubbles have popped? I don't see any more. It doesn't mean there isn't one in there, but I don't see any. Okay, so here we go with some more. Now I put this through the vacuum chamber, so it shouldn't have any bubbles in it. If this is not a dark enough red, I can always paint something on the bottom, you know, like a dark red. Ooh, like this candy apple blossom. That's a cool red, but he wanted clear, so I would have suggested that one, but he said he wants clear, so clear it is. Now we just sit back and let that cure up while I fashion some rattles. Yeah. Now this stuff, crazy stuff. I'll have to find, I'm going to change gloves first, but I'm going to have to find my green wire. I've got some around here somewhere. Okay, I'll come back to you after a while. Well, this is cured up pretty well. I had enough of this left over to make one of these snail things where you can put a sphere on there, a small sphere, and then have it be the snail's back. Here is what I was able to do for the rattle of the snake. And I have not heard back from the man what color he wants it, if he wants it to stay white or if he wants it to go some other color, but I figure we can get this part done, and I'll wait till tomorrow. Could just call that black thing the rattle. Now, the last time I made one of these snakes, it had color to it. It was rather opaque. So this is going to be an interesting one, having it be transparent red. Now, it's not going to look totally transparent because of the scale or the crystals, but it should look pretty cool. I hope these eyes look really neat too. Well, let's look. Oh yeah, look at the, oh man. Now, there we go. And this still needs to dry a little bit more, but I do have the metal rod in there, so I want to make it come in at an angle. Cut some of this that formed around that plug that I made. That plug over there. Man, I tell you, those eyes are really cool looking to me. Okay, now let me grab the rest of that wire. I had it up here. There we go. It's still bendy enough to where I should be able to poke in there. onto that little wire well enough. I just needed to go in just a little ways. So now, got some pliers. Keeps bending on me. This keeps bending on me. Yeah. All I needed was just a little bit of a hole. And now I'll be able to go around after this hardens up and oh, come on. That's almost too long. I need it just that size. Okay, well. Marking that up with some of this white stuff. Anyway, I've got it to the right size right there. Turn that over. Cleaning up my mess. Okay, now let me get that white stuff off his tail. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm going to try some of this UV for bonding. There's a little bit on the edge of that. Get this over here. Don't know if that's going to hold or not. I know now. Okay, so I'm going to be able to carve on that when it hardens up. But what I want to do, I want to see if I can get, while this is still bendy, see if I can get that to go up. So it looks like he's flaring out his rattles. I think that'll be kind of cool. Also, I'm going to get some red UV resin and go around the edge a little bit and touch that up a little bit better. I'll be right back. Okay, I got that taken care of around the edge. Now I've got a mold here that's on the heavier side, but it's still silicone. And I'm resting it on its own silicone mold that it came out of. So that tail is going to be flipped up a little bit. So yeah, this is going to be cool. And that came out really pretty too. Okay, well, I will see you in the morning. It is nighttime here. So I'm going to zoom down in here. Well, I'll do it right now. Look at those eyes. Well, that eye. The other eye is the same. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Dun, 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 dun. That's about the noise they make. Almost sounds like a machine gun. Okay, hope he likes this. We'll see you in the morning. Okay, all finished. I ground that thing down and carved on it so that it looks like a rattle. And I went all the way around with it. And on rattlesnakes, right before the body goes onto the rattle, there's a white line of scales. So I put that around there. And he sits with the tail up in the air a little bit. Yeah. Cool. Look at those eyes. Well, I hope he likes it. I'm going to contact him, send him pictures. So I got a snail and a snake. Both start with SN. Cool. Okay. If you are a subscriber of mine, thank you so very much. If you are not and you would like to be, it's very simple. Just go down to the bottom of the screen and push subscribe. And right next to it, there's an icon of a bell, and that's the notification bell. So if you click on that, anytime I do something new, you'll get notified. So yeah, and my channel does have channel memberships if you are interested in supporting the channel that way. Don't know what I'm going to do, what little sphere I'm going to put on there, but that's a cool mold. I've got this one. This is the large one, and I've got one about half that size. And then I got this guy. Wow. Okay, outside I go. See you for the next one. Bye.